Why are some people still afraid of the dark, even after they've grown up and supposedly left childhood fears behind? It might seem strange at first. You would expect that once we become adults, rational, logical, and experienced, we would no longer fear something as simple as the absence of light. Yet, for millions of people around the world, darkness still brings a shiver down the spine, a racing heartbeat, and an uncomfortable urge to reach for the nearest light switch. To understand this, we need to explore two worlds, the world of science and the world of the supernatural. Because fear of the dark sits right at the intersection of human biology and ancient storytelling. From a scientific standpoint, our fear of darkness can be traced back to survival instincts. Long before modern civilization, our ancestors lived in a world where the night concealed countless dangers, predators, rival tribes, and unseen hazards. Without light, human vision becomes poor, and our ability to detect threats drops dramatically. In that environment, fear of the dark was not a weakness, it was a survival tool. Those who were cautious at night had a higher chance of avoiding danger. Over thousands of years, this wariness became part of our evolutionary wiring. Modern research in neuroscience shows that the amygdala, the brain's fear center, becomes more active when we are in low-light conditions. This heightened state of alert is our body's way of preparing us for possible threats, even if those threats no longer exist. While most of us can logically tell ourselves that there's nothing dangerous in a dark room, our brains are still primed to react as if danger could be hiding in every shadow. But science only explains part of the story. The other part lives in culture, folklore, and the stories we've been told since childhood. Across cultures, darkness has always been the backdrop for ghost stories, supernatural encounters, and mysterious events. In Thai folklore, the night is the realm of restless spirits, Pi Krisu, Pi Pobe, and other ghosts said to wander after sunset. In Western culture, legends speak of shadowy figures, haunted graveyards, and entities that thrive in darkness. These tales are passed down through generations, shaping our perception of the dark as not just empty space, but a place where something might be watching. For a child, these stories can make nighttime terrifying. But even as we grow older, the emotional impact can linger. Our memories of being scared in the dark as children, hearing the floor creak, imagining a figure in the corner, don't always fade completely. In fact, psychologists believe that childhood fears can resurface in adulthood, especially under stress. If you've ever felt uneasy in a dark hotel room or an unfamiliar house, you've experienced how quickly old fears can return. There's also a phenomenon called pareidolia, where the brain tries to make sense of unclear visual information. In low light, your eyes may see vague shapes and your brain fills in the gaps with familiar patterns, often faces or human-like forms. This can make an ordinary shadow look like a lurking figure, and the mind's imagination does the rest. Now, here's where the line between science and the supernatural begins to blur. Many people who are afraid of the dark aren't just reacting to the absence of light. They're reacting to the feeling that they are not alone. Some describe a sense of presence, as if something is standing just behind them, even when no one is there. Science might explain this as the brain's heightened sensitivity in the dark, but for those who have experienced it, the sensation feels too real to dismiss. Paranormal investigators often point out that many ghost sightings and unexplained events occur at night. Whether this is because spirits are more active after dark or because humans are more suggestible when visibility is low is a matter of debate. But culturally, the connection between night and supernatural activity is deeply ingrained. It's also worth noting that fear of the dark can be amplified by personal experiences. If someone has had a frightening encounter in the dark, a break-in, an accident, or even a vivid supernatural experience, their brain can form a strong association between darkness and danger. This makes the fear harder to shake, even if the person knows logically that they are safe. There's another layer to consider: isolation. Darkness often goes hand in hand with quiet and solitude. When the lights go out and the world grows still, we become more aware of every small sound. Creaks, taps, distant footsteps. Some of these noises have simple explanations. The house settling, the wind outside, an appliance running. But in the silence of night, our brains are more likely to interpret them as signs of an intruder or something not entirely human. For some adults, the fear of the dark is mild, just a preference for keeping a nightlight on. For others, it can be intense enough to cause anxiety, insomnia, or panic attacks. This condition even has a name, nyctophobia, an extreme and irrational fear of darkness. In severe cases, it can affect daily life, making it difficult to travel, camp, or even be in a dimly lit room. Interestingly, some therapists treat fear of the dark not by removing it entirely, but by reframing it. They help patients understand the roots of their fear, both the evolutionary survival instincts and the cultural conditioning. Exposure therapy, relaxation techniques, and even meditation can help the brain adjust to darkness without triggering panic. Of course, for those who believe in ghosts, spirits, or other supernatural entities, the solution might not be so simple. If you're convinced that darkness invites unseen visitors, no amount of scientific explanation will ever erase that belief. In such cases, people often turn to protective rituals, carrying charms, saying prayers, or following traditional customs to keep unwanted spirits away at night. So why do some people remain afraid of the dark even as adults? The answer is complex. It's part ancient survival instinct, part cultural inheritance, and part personal experience. In the shadows, our rational mind and our imagination meet, and in that meeting, fear finds fertile ground. Whether it's a trick of the brain or something truly supernatural, the darkness will always hold a certain power over us. If you've ever felt your heart race in a dark room, know that you're not alone. Millions of people share this experience, and while science can explain the mechanics, the emotions it stirs are deeply human. Perhaps that's why the dark has inspired so many legends, films, and works of art. It's a reminder that, for all our technology and progress, there's still a part of us that is connected to the primal human who once sat by the fire, glancing into the shadows and wondering what might be lurking just beyond sight. And maybe, just maybe, that's not something to be ashamed of. Fear can keep us safe, but it can also keep us curious. And curiosity, after all, is the light we carry into the dark. So the next time you find yourself in complete darkness, pay attention to your senses. Notice the sounds, the shapes, the way your mind begins to wander. Is it just your brain playing tricks, or is there something more? That's a question only you can answer. And if you want to dive deeper into this mystery, blending science, psychology, and a hint of the supernatural, watch the full video on Wiseuse. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wiseuse for more fascinating insights into the strange and mysterious side of everyday life.